Damn, dog. You a pet for your God? You are just a lowly pet for your God. You may not be able to understand omniscience or omnipotency, but I do. Just because you don't understand it doesn't mean I can't. And because I understand what omniscience and omnipotence means, that's why I know that your God is not God, because he's not omniscient, nor is he omnipotent. So, first, we kill animals and eat animals. We also make animals as pets. Even though I vehemently disagree with making animals as pets, I don't like the fact of having animals as pets. I don't think any animal should be a pet. That's about as far as I agree with PETA. Or animal cruelty. I don't agree with animal cruelty. But beyond that, I don't think we should have animals as pets. Now, I don't force people who have pets to not have pets. If that's their choice, they're more than welcome to have it. But pets are not as sentient as we are. Pets do not have the higher levels of reasoning that we have. And your God was supposedly making a creature, a being that could dwell with him in heaven, or dwell here on earth and make earth heaven. And then your God will have a good little zoo, according to you. But that doesn't seem to be what the book is actually saying this God was doing. It seems that he was replacing his first children who didn't act right. That's what your book seemed to say. Now, if your God was omniscient, then your God would have known that that was a failed plan from the very beginning. Your God would have known that Adam and Eve would disobey him. He would have known that creating a flood would not absolve the situation that he was trying to get rid of. He would have known that the children of Israel would constantly go in and out of love and respect for him or in fear of him. He would have known that man would create wars. Man would use his book for all types of traumatic events and destructive events. He would have known that his sacrifice of himself to himself was not going to work. That the overwhelming majority of people are never going to believe in this God. And to this day, the overwhelming majority of people do not. And before you say there's 2.6 billion Christians on the planet, there's almost 8 billion people on the planet. You do the math. There's more people who don't believe in your book than there are people who believe in your book. Just because you're surrounded by them means absolutely nothing. But the most disturbing part of your comment, it is truly that you see yourself as a lowly pet to be discarded by your God at your God's will. And it's not hard for me to understand why you feel that way, why you think that way, because that is what your Bible does constantly. Abraham had to argue with your God to not destroy his people. Moses had to argue with your God a few times to not destroy his people. You know, Yahweh's allotment from Elion. He had to convince him, don't be so angry with them. Don't be so hard on them. Don't destroy them and make a whole new group of people out of me. But if you do that, then your enemies, the other gods that you don't like, are going to say that, look, he took those people out into the wilderness only to kill them. That was the okie doke that Moses pulled on your God before they crossed into the promised land in Deuteronomy. Your God is a made-up God, just like every other God has been made up. Your God has human qualities. You see, to understand omniscience and omnipotency, you have to realize that if there is a being that is a creator, is a God, then that God cannot be ruled by emotions that men have. He also cannot be ruled by the decisions that men make. That he would always and has to constantly be God, be the all. That in his all-knowingness, he knew what men would do and never intervene with what men would do because he already knows what men are going to do. And his creation wouldn't have been a creation for selfishness because he wanted something to love him, because he wanted to have a family with him, because no, he just created, or it just created simply because it creates. It has nothing to do with any desires. Because if your God has desires, then your God is not God. Because the desires themselves would be more powerful than the God, because those desires would cause your God to act. And an omniscient omnipotent God cannot be forced to act on anything. This is why in Hermeticism we teach that the all is undefinable, the all is unknowable, and that the all can never separate itself into any parts because the all must always be the all, and that nothing outside of the all can force the all to do anything because there is nothing outside of the all. Because the divine paradox is the all is in all, but all are not the all. So you have a great day. And remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.